All right, we are live. Solar Icons family. We are streaming across like multiple platforms. We are on our YouTube channel. We are on our various private Facebook masterminds. If you know, you know. And if you don't, I'm sorry. Seek somebody out. We are on LinkedIn as well. Super excited to be rolling out a brand new software platform. We are upping our game here. We want to make sure that we have quality format that we're able to share to help everybody grow their businesses. So I'm super, super excited. I don't want to take a long time, but I do have the privilege, the true privilege of introducing my ride or die, my best friend, Mr. Chris Hart. I have known this man for over a decade. Yes, that ages the heck out of us. It is what it is. I met him from our previous careers in the real estate field. In fact, he was a real estate leadership coach of mine for over 5 years. So literally, I'm bringing to you a coach that I won't even tell you how much I had to pay to get on his schedule, right? But that's the quality of content this man delivers. He changed my life, not only in leadership, but really the other one, and I'm going to argue even bigger, which is crazy because leadership is so important, but it was scripting and the framework around scripting. He's one of the only few individuals that I've read from, coached from, mentored from that talks about the framework of scripting because it's so important. We could just give you a script. What does that do? We got to teach you how to use a script, how to think on your toes, how to move, how to bob, how to hop with it, right? And that there's no better person I could think of than Mr. Chris Hart. He is also an amazing dad. He is chasing the black belt in his what is it? Taekwondo, I think it is.
Karate.
Karate. Sorry, excuse me. I'm going to get in trouble for that one. He's an amazing husband as well. Like I said, I can't say enough things about him. I'm going to move out of the way. Chris, the floor is yours, my friend. Honored to have you share today.
Man, I love being in business with you mostly because you edify somebody better. Like you should be in the business of working with people with depression because just your edifications, man, you record them. And, anybody who gets depressed after one of Aaron's edifications, I don't know if there's any help. And so I love you, bro, man. I love being on this journey with you. We are on the tip of the spear that is piercing the energy revolution here in America. And I couldn't be more honored to be doing it with you. I'm having a blast, man. I'm having a blast doing this. When we first got on board with this, we didn't know our butt from our elbow, right? SOLAR. That was the extent that we knew about solar, and digging into this with you and the team that we've built and the talent that we've had the blessing to be in business with and learn from as well. This is just awesome. So every Friday we do this. We do script coaching for our team. We open it up to everybody. We think from abundance. We are here to change the world. We're here to change America with renewable energy. It's the future of American home energy, and we get to be on the tip of it. And we're just honored to be able to do it with you and everybody else that's either on this call right now, on this webinar, or that's joining us recording, streaming live over the internet, whatever the case may be. If you're giving us your time, we honor that. I honor that. And I want to make sure that I deliver more value than you expect this morning. So I spent a good 4 or 5 hours yesterday going through a lot of my notes on follow-up. That's what we're talking about. Every week we do scripts relative to selling solar, building our business through recruiting and attraction. And this week we're focusing on obviously selling solar. And with that, in selling solar, excuse me, we're focusing on the follow-up, right? And what's the saying in sales? The fortune is in the follow-up, right? The fortune is in the follow-up. So we kind of tagged this morning as building our fortune selling solar. Why? Because if you are in the solar game, we're going to show you how just the fundamental practices of selling solar can help you build your fortune through the follow-up. And guys, I'm going to seriously, I personally in my notes, I have the little icon bombs because as I'm writing my notes and I'm going through it, I'm bombing myself. I'm like, holy crap, like, that's a bomb, right? So I got some bombs for you. And when you hear them, I move fast, right? You can ask Lenny. Lenny Fairfield was on here. Lenny says, where's my hard hat? Chris Hart about to drop bombs. You're darn right I am. Lenny tells me all the time, he's like, man, you got to slow down for some of us here in the Carolinas. So I can't slow down this morning. I'm sorry. I got a lot of ground to cover. So if anybody hears a bomb, please put it in the chat box. Aaron will put it on the screen. We got some amazing technology for you. But here's what I want you guys to know about the aspect of follow-up. We're going to cover everything from mindset to strategy to scripts. We're going to talk about video, right? Video and how important video is in the follow-up process and how valuable it is in your follow-up processes. So here's what I'm going to ask you guys to do. We're going to talk about video, but I promise you it's going to be super valuable. If you are on here this morning, take a video of yourself live. Take out your phone. You know that on where it says what's on your mind, it gives you a couple of different options. A lot of you guys like to post, beautiful pictures of yourself or text. And then it says live, L-I-V-E. And you get to show, I know it's live. I'm just messing with you guys. But you guys get to show the world how you're living through going live. Show the world today this coaching, right? For you. Show them, show the world how you are being progressive in your business and learning. Just start this morning. Take out your phones right now. Do a live and say, put your phone up and say, hey, Facebook, good morning. Chris Hart here on this awesome training this morning with the founder and co-founder of Solar Icons in Power, and they're going through the follow-up process. I'm going to be sharing some bombs on my Facebook post or on my Facebook page this morning to add more value. Stay tuned. Hope you guys have a great Friday. Okay. So start with a video. We're going to talk a lot about video today and how important it is in the follow-up process, but let's start with mindset, right? For those of you guys that are in my world, Aaron knows this. Some of you guys that have been around for a while, no, I love psychology. Why? Psychology is the study of the psyche, and the psyche is your main processing unit, just like a computer. All right. So if it drives everything, we've got to address it relative to what we're talking about, whether it's scripts, tactics, strategy, etc. So we're going to cover all that, but let's start with mindset first. Aaron, let me ask you a question real quick before we dig into this. What is your mindset around follow-up?
Follow-up is everything, man. But it's also, am I being real, right? And that's what we do here. It's an ugly word. It's where most of us struggle unless you have some sort of system in place. Most of us aren't good at it. Most of us don't like living in a world of chasing. And I think that's the mindset that we have around it, or at least I do, right? If I'm being real. So you got to get around it. However, I mean, I don't know the stat. It depends who you look up. What guru is it? 70%? Is it 80%? Is it 90% of the deals that you put together? The recruits you bring over come from follow-up? I don't know. Perhaps you do, but I know it's a really high number. I know it's very, very rare that it's one and done. You expose somebody with one thing, you do one presentation, and it's just over like that. So it's true. It's the title of this. Fortune is in the follow-up. I love to get creative with it and figure out ways to bring value to the prospect, to the potential recruit via follow-up. That makes me feel really, it's more organic with who I am as a person. So I'm more inclined to go do it, if that makes sense.
Right. Awesome. So guys, let me ask you, for those of you guys that are with us this morning, you're in the chat, put in the chat box, what is your position with follow-up? I love it. I do it daily. I never do it. I hate it. Like, what's your opinion about follow-up? How is follow-up interactive in your sales business currently? I know we've got a lot of real estate agents on here. I know we've got some solar people, and we've got some people that are in real estate and solar. So whatever you're doing, it doesn't matter. We're in sales, and follow-up's an important part. Share with me in the chat box. Aaron will feature you with your quotes on there. But we're going to talk about follow-up, right? The fortune is in the follow-up. If you are not doing follow-up, you are throwing a lot of money away. Okay. There's a crazy statistic that came out. I heard it about a year or so ago. I don't know if it was from Inman Connect or whatnot, but out of the real estate industry has been very progressive with regard to training and education and sales statistics, and really just mastering the sales element. And yet we came into solar, and we see where solar is. And I tell Aaron all the time, man, solar is where real estate was like 20, 25 years ago. Right? Like, we're still bragging that people are making $1 million knocking on doors, and we got people making $6 million having never knocked on a door.
Chris, I got to interrupt, man. I'm sorry. You yell at me later. We say that quote all the time, right? That this is real estate 20, 25, 30 years ago. It might be 40. Who freaking knows? But how excited does that get you?
Oh,
like people who aren't in real estate. I just want to make sure that's not lost on anybody. Because honestly, that's why Chris and I are here.
Guys, I literally, and Aaron, you know this, and I know what you've walked away from as well. I literally shut down my multiple six-figure coaching company to go all in on selling solar and building a solar business because of the opportunity. right? And Aaron framed it. Guys, like, you paid me $750 an hour. That was just one client to coach you and whoever else I close that down. I don't do it anymore. I literally do not have a single client anymore in coaching. I went all in on this. It hasn't been easy, right? But I know it's going to be worth it. But understand this, in the real estate industry, that's as progressive as it can possibly get in the sales industry as a whole. 1.4% of salespeople, real estate agents, follow up. Whoo! Let me say that again. Somebody put that in the chat box so they can actually see the numbers. 1.4%. There's 1.56 million licensed realtors as of most recent statistic of National Association of Realtor Homebuyer. No, not Homebuyer and Seller Report, just National Association of Realtors. So 1.56 million times 1.4%. That's only 21,840 people actually do follow-up. Right? So can you see how, just in the simple nature that if you engage follow-up, you're going to outperform 98.6% of the competition in the marketplace, right? Now, you could say, Chris, that's just real estate. This is solar. Solar's worse, guys. I'm telling you. You guys are still bragging about knocking on doors, flying halfway across the country to do some D2D, door-to-door training. And yet here we are, like, we got digital door knocking. It's the technology era. Like, Chat GPT is the new cool lingo. And that is such a war right now. You got Google, you got Chat GPT, you got Bing, and they're progressing so fast. And guys are bragging about knocking on doors. So I'm going to show you how technology implements into follow-up. But we need to understand, if you don't embrace follow-up, you are going to either die in the sales space, or you're going to make it so much more difficult than it needs to be. And that's on you. Okay. So hopefully you embrace the fact that statistically, if you just implement some element of follow-up, you're going to win, and win big. What you got, Aaron?
Yeah, one of the nugget on that 20, 25, 30-year quote that Chris and I talk about all the time, guys. This is important. Most of the people we're attracting, right, is coming from the real estate field. It's just a natural marriage, right? The solar play just marries so well with it. A lot of other fields too, so don't feel like you're missing out by any stretch. But here's the truth, right? Outside of a few select states, Florida, Texas, California, kind of my blink answers. If I were to go talk to 100 people on Facebook right now and say, who do you know that's a trusted real estate professional? I am on average going to get over 10 responses per person. That's 1,000 responses by asking that question to 100 people. If I say that same question, who do you know that's a solar professional, to those same 100 people, I might get 4 or 5 names total. It's wide open. It's wide open. The competition piece is what we don't really talk that much about. So if you apply everything that Chris is going to be teaching you today from our years of real estate over to a field where no one's doing it yet, it's game freaking over. Like game freaking over.
And the crazy part, my experience of studying performance in the real estate space, so many real estate agents compare themselves to like the number one agent in the market. And yeah, the number one agent's there because, they've implemented a lot of the fundamental practices of winning in sales, lead generation, lead follow-up, mastering that process, et cetera. But the fact of the matter is, the number 2, the number 20, the number 50 producing agent in the market still making a crap ton of money. And you can beat them easily just by doing lead follow-up, okay? So here's what we need to understand about lead follow-up. In order for lead follow-up to be a thing, lead generation has to be implemented, right? So in real estate, right, Aaron, you and I came from Keller Williams. Keller Williams with Gary Keller is one of the co-founders of Keller Williams. So progressive, right? So progressive in improving how real estate was done. I mean, that's a big part of what we're modeling here in solar and how we're going to help make this industry more progressive than it is. But he said there's 5 money-making activities that a real estate agent must engage in their day-to-day activities. If you want to be a millionaire, if you want to have some element of millionaire status in real estate, you must do these 5 activities. Write these down, put them in the chat box for those that are driving or, distracted or whatever. Okay. The first one is script practice and role play. That's why we do this every Friday, right? We talk about different scripts, different strategies, things that we can take into our week next week and start to work on this weekend. That's why we do it on Friday. Work on it during the weekend so you can implement it next week. But you have to implement script practice and role play in your daily. Let me say this again, daily. If it's not on your calendar, it doesn't exist. Okay. Script practice and role play. The second one is lead generation. That is you're doing whatever you do. You're using technology, you're blogging, you're making videos, you're picking up the phone, you're calling new people, you're doing BNI, you're networking, which by the way, if you're not doing BNI, you're giving your market away to somebody else because somebody else is going to take it from you. But that's a different coaching call. We'll talk about that another time. But point of the matter, guys, is lead generation is generating new leads. Why? Not because that's where you're going to win, right? Most of you guys think that lead generation is where you're going to win. You're like, oh, I did like 20 minutes of lead generation. Nobody picked up the phone, or the 10 people I talked to, nobody said they were interested. So I'm not doing lead generation anymore. Guys, the purpose of lead generation is not to book the appointment. The purpose of lead generation is to put somebody new in your CRM. What's CRM, Chris? We'll talk about that. We'll get back to that. Hold that thought. Okay. Hold that thought. All right. But lead generation is to set up the lead follow-up. That's the third activity that must be in your calendar every single day. Script practice and role play, lead generation, lead follow-up. So look at your lead generation, not as where the fortune is. For most of you guys, it's where the failure is. Okay. So lead generation sets up the lead follow-up so that you can make your fortune. Right. So script practice and role play, lead gen, lead follow-up, going on appointments. If you're a real estate agent, if you're a solar salesperson, that could be doing your presentations. That could be doing your, in-home presentations, however you run your model. Mine, Aaron's 100% virtual. I don't go over people's houses. We got Zoom. We get beat up a lot about that, but it is what it is. It's the future of selling. Okay.
Touch on that, man. Why don't you?
Why don't I
prefer Zoom over belly to belly?
Because I think it allows for more efficiency for people, right? I think we live in a day and age today where people view their home as kind of their refuge, right? They don't like people knocking on their door. They don't like strangers coming up. Like, go ahead and go knock on some stranger's door here in South Carolina. They may answer the door with a shotgun, right? So, I mean, just, look at you and I, Aaron, like we're homebodies, we're family people. People today don't naturally invite people into their home. So just like yesterday, I did a proposal for a lady that had about an hour break. She's a nurse. She doesn't get off till 9 o'clock at night. I'm not doing a 10 o'clock proposal, for her, whether on Zoom or in her house, but during her lunch break, she's eating her lunch, talking about solar, and she's ready to move forward. Right? That's why we do, because I can do more of those than you can sitting in a house.
That's the nugget for me right there. It's the end.
Right.
I can do time on task.
Same thing with building, right? Like we get in our last business, they were saying, oh, you got to do live events. And we're sitting here building a massive team, right? Aaron, you did it longer than I did with that company. You built a team of over 7,000 people, barely ever doing a live event. And show me how many people can build that doing live events. Like we talked about yesterday on one of the market development calls. In order to build a live event, you need a lot of people, a lot of hands create light work, and so few people want to actually contribute. But we don't need a lot of people to put 100 people on a Zoom, right? So technology today is going to win. I'm going to show you more about that here in a second. So script practice and role play, lead gen, lead follow-up, go on appointments, and negotiate contracts. Those are the 5 essential money-making activities of a millionaire real estate agent. And just understand how those apply to your solar business, right? But here's the thing about follow-up. Follow-up must be a strategy, okay? Follow-up must be a strategy. Strategy means we encompass multiple tactics. So I have this concept of strategy. Are you being strategic or are you being tactical? Tactical is I do 1 or 2 things 1 or 2 times. I hope I get a result. If I don't, I crap can it and I move on to something else and I chase the next bright, shiny object. Strategy is I got a multitude of things that I'm doing, all designed to do this, narrow the funnel. right? Because sales is about a funnel. We open the top of the funnel through lead generation. We have multiple different channels that feeds the funnel. And then our follow-up strategy narrows the funnel and drips down the people who want to buy.
Love it.
Got any thoughts on that?
No, man, you hit the nail on the head, brother. Keep running.
All right, keep going. So we've got to be strategic. Here's another thing about follow-up. When we talk about follow-up being a strategy, you have to use all the elements of communication today, right? The interesting part is when I talk to salespeople and I ask them, okay, what are you doing for follow-up? Like right now, we've got a really cool CRM. I'm going to, offer it out. We've offered it out to people on our team. I'm going to be doing a mastermind starting in about 2 weeks. I'll talk more about that later. But even in that CRM, it's like, dude, I literally, on my Facebook page, I responded to 15 Facebook leads. And you know what everybody's doing? 2 things: texting and calling. Text and call, text and call. And they're all saying the same thing, both in the text message and the calling, right? So point of the matter is, at least they're doing something, but the little something that they are doing is the same thing that everybody else is doing. And then we get ourselves into well, how do I stand out? What do I say to stand out? Guys, we have to use all channels, right? The most important one, what do you think the most important tactical execution of follow-up is, right? Is it email? Is it voice? Is it text? Like, what's the most important? Put it in the chat box. Aaron, what do you think it is?
It's a loaded question, brother.
I know. Come on, let's hear it in the chat box.
One form of communication, it would be video. I think video is way underutilized. My Blink answer, though, and you guys are going to hear me say that a lot. We got to do a training on Blink, but I'm a big believer, and correct me if I'm wrong, Chris, about communicating the way the prospect wants to be communicated with. Yep. Now I say that, and here's a great example. If they're responding via Facebook Messenger for a Facebook lead, or you're prospecting, whatever, and the conversation's flowing, my end goal is to get them on the phone. It's very hard to close somebody on a Facebook message, but I'm going to build the rapport. It's almost like Gary Vaynerchuk with the jab, what was it?
Right hook. Yep.
Yeah. Where it's like, I'm going to, talk to me more about this. What's important about solar? What's important about an opportunity? That sort of thing. Oh my gosh, I'd love to answer that question. Hop on a quick phone call. They might pull back, not quite ready. Then I'll keep jabbing on the messenger. I still have my ultimate goal of where I want to communicate, but I believe that we rush too often to get to our form of communication, if that makes sense. I think it's so important. Build rapport. Have your goal of where you want to go. Drive that conversation, but don't be afraid to be in their lane for a little while. I sold so many homes to buyers, and this is crazy, man, that we never even had a phone conversation. They were out of town. It was over text. Like never 100%. Even had a phone combo. They were so afraid to pick up the phone and talk to me, yet they bought a $600,000 home with me. Communicate with people how they want to communicate.
Yes, I agree with that. Okay. Now watch this. You ready? 80% of information being consumed today is being consumed via video, right? Everything video, YouTube, Vimeo, Facebook statistically outperforms everything else. If you look at ESPN today, you go on their app, right? Everything's video. You go on Facebook, video drastically outperforms still pictures and massively outperforms text. Video. Why are we not implementing video in our follow-up? Okay. So I'm going to talk more about that in a minute, but this is why I told you guys at the beginning, you have to get comfortable with video. Now, there's
because
some
people
technology.
Are chicken shit. I'm just being honest, man. Like they're so afraid to get on. You have to. You think Chris was a natural at this 5 years ago when we started launching Zoom? No.
Heck no.
Sorry, I know I wasn't. You got to do it.
Yeah.
Get comfortable being uncomfortable, my friends. That's where the money is. That's where the magic is.
The winner, Tony Robbins says this all the time. The people who are going to win in business are the ones that can learn. It's not even learn to get comfortable with being uncomfortable. You can just figure out to deal with being uncomfortable. Point of the matter is you got to get uncomfortable. I'm not comfortable doing video. Guys, you see me do this all the time with my neck. I'm doing this, guys. I got more injuries than, most people do. I hate that. I see myself twitch. My neck is crooked. I've got all sorts of self-confidence issues. But I realize, hey, if you want to play this game, this is what you have to do. This is where content consumption is coming, right? Look at all the people that are succeeding. And look at all the people that are failing. Some of you guys in your business, you won't even post a damn thing about solar on your Facebook. Well, I don't want people to think that, I'm no longer a real estate agent. Good. Present yourself as the future of real estate and position yourself on Facebook as a solar real estate broker, because the future of America home energy production is solar panels on the roof. And if you don't, and I said this the other day or a couple of weeks ago, when we trained real estate agents, belief system right now about solar is the predictive analytic to their business in the future. Because if you don't like solar panels, you're not selling homes in the future, because homes in the future will have solar panels, hands down, bar none. Okay. So video, right? Now, when we look at strategic implementation of follow-up, right? Stop following up with email and text. Stop following up with email and text in a one-dimensional manner. If you're going to use email and text, you must have video. You must have video. Why? Because what is email and text? Aaron, come back on the screen.
Here.
Come back. All right, let's talk about this. Okay. If we know for a fact, okay, that Facebook tells us video drastically outperforms still imagery and massively outperforms just actual text-based posts, and all we're doing is, that's human behavior, right? That's Facebook telling us human behavior analytics. Why are we doing a text-based text message or a text-based email to the people? Why are we doing it?
It's passive. You can hide behind it, man.
Yes,
There's no accountability. You can edit it 900 times. Takes you 4 hours to send one email. You drop a video. People on our team, you guys know, especially if Chris and I are coaching you, it's one record. One record. We're not doing edits. Be real. Be natural. Just freaking go.
That's it right there. Okay. That's why people are winning with video. Guys, in a society today, and I'm not trying to get like conspiracy theorists, political or whatever. There's a lot. I'll be careful. I promise. People don't know what's real anymore. Right? There's so much out there as far as conspiracy theories, reality, what this, what that. People just want authenticity. They just want authenticity. Right? They don't want a salesperson. They don't want the best script. They don't want some fancy text message. You know what they want? They want authenticity. And video brings authenticity. Right?
When they see, yeah. This is important. I mean, we always joke, say it louder for the people in the back, right? This is so important. When I finally learned this, and I still struggle with it, right? I'm a perfectionist, like, especially when you're putting on a video or a voice text. Anyone that knows me, who's been in my world, knows I love voice text. I get more feedback when I F up, and I F up all the time. I stutter when I get excited, when I get nervous. I can't help it. I'll misspeak. Here's what happens. A couple of things. One is Chris just said, they're looking for something authentic. You know, when you get a voice text from me, especially when I all over the freaking place, that it was real, that it came from my freaking heart. And so the response back is unbelievable, right? Just be you. Just be natural. You don't need some fancy studio setup. Almost all of my videos are not at my home office. It's me walking around, which is probably really bad, but I shot it, and I beat 99% of you that don't. Just be you. Just be real. If you're quirky, be freaking quirky. It doesn't matter, but you're setting yourself apart. One of my favorite books is The Purple Cow. I know my girl Adrienne, who's on here, she just bought it because I recommended it. Be different. How are you separating yourself from every other solo professional? If you're not in solo yet, shame on you. But whatever field you're in watching this today, how are you separating yourself from all the other loan officers, all the other car salespeople, real estate professionals? It doesn't matter. Separate yourself. Be unique.
Yeah. Own who you are. God made you to be that way for a reason, right? God gave me big ears. That's my signature. Yeah, Dumbo. I've been called everything my whole time. Okay, great. Dumbo's flying a lot higher than you are right now. Half the kids in elementary school that made fun of me. But Facebook user who's hiding behind no picture and no name dropped a bomb. You can't outsource authenticity, right? Stop running from authenticity. That's what your marketplace wants. Ramsey Clark coming in. The big dogs are here now. Okay. You can't outsource authenticity. Stop running from what the marketplace wants. The marketplace is literally telling you on Facebook, Aaron, there was a statistic that came out a couple years ago, and I don't know where the numbers are today, but a couple years ago statistic is pretty mind-blowing, where Facebook reached where at any given point throughout the day, there is 1 billion people on. Well, Chris, I only have 1,197 followers. Great. Use a hashtag. Okay. Use a hashtag, and now you can start talking to everyone. Right. So point of the matter is, if Facebook is telling us that there's 1 billion people on at any given time, they want video. They'll be okay with one-dimensional pictures, and they don't really like text. Then if you're on Facebook, do the damn videos. If you're doing follow-up, implement video. Okay. Now let's move on. Any questions on that, Aaron? Did you have anything you want to touch on that?
No, I think you nailed it, man. It's just take massive action. Embrace that you're not polished yet. Embrace you might not have the fanciest phone. It does not matter. It does not matter. In fact, as you're just getting started, so I get excited, Chris, hanging out with you. When you're just getting started with this journey, right? A follow-up, lead generation, getting your new business out there. Maybe you're relaunching an old business. It doesn't matter because you didn't do it correctly, right? We've all been there. It's about quantity versus excellence right now. It's about getting your message out as often as you freaking can to as many freaking people as you can. Not about being perfect. If it takes you 4 days to get one video and I shot 5 today that were all like imperfect, I will beat you all day, every day. It does not matter.
Yeah. You know, Michael Barrison said, my daughter-in-law is going to start managing a business Instagram account for me. Michael, I would actually encourage against that. Okay. I would actually encourage against that. You want to know why? Because when we start hiring people, we lose that authenticity. You lose your voice. You lose your personality, right? If you've been in my world long enough to know, you know my personality, you know my intensity, you know I don't apologize, you know some things will come out of my mouth where people are like, did he really just say that? But that's my brand, right? And I don't do it as a brand. My brand is my authenticity, right? Many like it, some don't. I don't play to the don'ts. I play to the wills. Right. You know, Aaron, you say all the time, like, I'm building a tribe. I want to run with a tribe that are like-minded people. See, the hard part is if Aaron is probably smarter than me at all this technology and, you know, he's always like, you got to do this, you got to do that. My answer to him is like, bro, I can only do but so much. Yeah, but we got to do this, we got to do that. I'm like, bro, I got to go. Right. I got to go. You're overwhelming me. But I say that because he's a lot smarter than me at all this tech stuff. Like he'll sit and he's like, dude, we got this StreamYard and da-da-da, and let's hop on. And I'm like, just tell me what link I got to click on. Okay. But why do I say that? If I hired Aaron to run my social media, I lose. You want to know why? Aaron's got a different voice. He's got a different personality, right? We're yin and yang. We balance each other in leadership, right? In every business we've built together, some people love Aaron, some people love Chris. Doesn't mean they don't love us, but they just connect better with the personality. You've got a part of the authenticity of communication, whether it's in lead generation, lead follow-up, or your marketing, is that you have to have, what's that word I'm looking for? You have to have congruence. You have to have congruence at all times, right? If you have a personality that's driven by your daughter-in-law on Instagram, and then all of a sudden you show up a little bit more aggressive, a little bit more timid, a little bit more whatever, people's brains pick up on that. You want to know why? The reticular activator, your brain is not designed for you to be happy or successful. It's actually designed for survival. And your brain is always monitoring stimuli to make sure that it protects you. So the second something is not congruent, they go, this person's fake. People, write this down. People don't want to be sold or told. And if you look at the sold element, the second you start, you know, hey, you're doing videos and this shirt and tie and jacket and this, that, the other thing, and then you show up in like khakis, loafers, and, you know, a collared shirt, there's incongruence there, right? And the second that your videos start looking like something other than you, there's incongruence. Okay. So from start to finish, the sales process needs to have congruence. And in your follow-up, that's massively important. There needs to be congruence of imagery. There needs to be congruence of communication. There needs to be congruence of tone, right? And personality. You
Can I
are
be a
who
devil's
you
advocate
are.
on this?
Yeah, please do.
Yeah, and this is what I love about Chris, by the way. There's certain things we're 100% in alignment, and I agree with 99% of what he just said. The one caveat I will add to Michael, and I happen to coach Michael, so I know him well. If there's ever something in life, especially in business, that you know 100% is not your wheelhouse, you're not there, you don't have the bandwidth to go learn it, I'd rather you outsource it to somebody. It's not going to be nearly as strong because of what Chris just said. It will not because it's not you, but at least someone's posting something. If you
Fair enough.
know, like, that is not your thing, like, I'll tell you right now, I will never beat doors. Those days are done from real estate. I'll never do it again. Do I know door knocking work? 100%. Will I have a door knocking army in my organization of people that love that? That's their wheelhouse. Facts. That's not me. So I will outsource that play. So I think definitely know your limitations where it's not your strength, but also know the limitations of it. Outsourcing it will not be the greatest return.
And with that, to take that to another layer, is whoever you outsource it, you have to make sure they're in your world. And so, Michael, for you, with your daughter-in-law, she probably has close proximity. You have to let her know that whatever she does has to be congruent with who you are, your personality. You know, if I hired a female to manage my social media and it's very foo-foo, flowery and lovey-dovey, and then here I am, kind of this hard, rigid personality, incongruence, right? So the message there is, if you're not going to do it, yeah, it's good to hire somebody. If you're going to hire somebody, make sure that they understand congruency of tonality, brand, personality, etc. Fair?
Chris, there's a comment I'd love to pull up and take a dive on. If that's cool with you. Is that fine?
Yeah. Which one?
Yeah, and I think it's something you might have just said. Yeah, cool. Pulled up. But I think it was taken a little bit out of context. And correct me if I'm wrong. So there's a saying, people hate to be sold. And I agree with the context of it. However, there is a right way to be sold, like where it is high level, you're bringing massive value, and you freaking love it. I'm going to share this story with you. I have a suit guy. And this is prior to COVID. I haven't worn a suit since COVID, which is amazing. I have a suit guy that I know for a fact, if I go in for a new pair of socks, a belt, if I go in for a tie, we're talking about spending like $50 to $100 maybe, right? I know without a doubt I'm walking out spending over $1,000. Like I know for a fact, this guy is such a high level sales guy, but I walk out smiling and I come back because he does it with such art. Like all of a sudden he'll show me that tie, be like, Aaron, I got to show you this new blazer that just came in. I know that's not why you came, but would you be offended if I show? I'm like, no, show me. He's like, let me take you down to the secret room only VIP clients go to. I'm like, oh, right? Like this guy sells me, and I know it, but I freaking love it because he does it with value. He's not giving me something he knows I'm not going to like, that he knows I'm not going to wear. He's not upselling me just to upsell me. He does it because he knows I like it. So I do think there's that nuance there. Does that make sense, Chris?
Yeah, 100%. And so your key word there was art. Okay.
Yeah.
So to understand the psychology of sales, there's 2 reasons why people buy. What are they? Anybody want to take a shot? Put it in the chat box. It's 2 reasons why people buy. They buy for significance. There's emotion, right? Logic makes us think, emotion makes us act. So technically we can say emotion. They buy for significance, or they buy because it solves a problem, right? And look what he did with you, right? He's very artistic. He goes, let me take you down to the room where only my VIP clients are. And so if you understand, like when you're buying nice clothes, when you're buying a suit, it's to look good, right? He understands the psychology of what he's selling. And so if people are coming to me, like you don't have to wear a suit today, but maybe you have a job that you have to wear a suit. And if you're coming to me, it's because you want to wear a nice suit. And if you want to wear a nice suit, it's because you want to look good. And I'm going to make you feel good in the way. That's what he's doing very artistically. Okay. So yes, people don't want to be sold. And so the total saying is people don't want to be sold and told. People don't want to be told to be sold. Right. Which is, hey, you need this because of that. Where people want to buy, right? Why is Apple? Do you guys know Apple products never go on sale? Do you want to know why? Because Apple has positioned themselves. By the way, Apple's just better than Samsung or whatever that other stuff is. Let's just
someone put that in the chat so I can bring it up because I 100%
it's irrefutable.
Agree. You green bubble people drive me insane.
But watch this. You ready? They'll say, oh, Samsung is so much better technology. Maybe you're right. I'm not here to refute that. I'm not a tech person. But Apple has dominated technology for the longest time, and they're not even the best technology. You want to know why? People want Apple because Apple does what? It breeds an emotion. They want to be a part of the Apple culture. Okay. So yes, Dora. Dora's on here. Oh, let me call Dora out a little bit. We did a test run on this yesterday. And, I had like my little subheading was Chris Hart question mark. I just put something in there. Aaron's like, he's got some fancy thing on his. Dora comes in and just drop kicks us and goes, the real MVP. It's true. Okay. She is the real MVP behind the scenes of this operation, but just had to call you out. Good to see you, Dora. All right. So yes,
Chris, we got two guests I'd love to bring up when you get to a pause. Let me know.
Let's do it.
Are you good?
Yeah.
All right. Let me grab them real quick.
Oh, jeez. Here we go. Trouble's in the house.
Terry, Katie, you're both on mute, but welcome to our first ever live stream. We're excited to have you guys on as our guest. How the heck are you?
Ladies first.
So let me talk real quick. I'll let you kind of give a brief introduction to Katie because, man, there's a whippersnapper right there. Terry, I love this guy. We literally call him the whale hunter, okay? Because this guy will straight up get you on the phone with someone and you're like, bro, that dude is impressive. So
I'm working on one right now.
Yeah, I know you are, dude. You always are. So you guys are blessed to have the whale hunter and Aaron. Go ahead. I don't even know how to introduce Katie.
I don't know how to introduce her either. She is she's a ball of fire. She is a ball of firecracker. Yeah, I was gonna say something, but it's not appropriate here. I love her. She is down to earth. She is genuine. She is 100% coachable. She is culture at its core. Anything we need from her on the team, she just delivers. It doesn't matter if it's sideline, downline, upline. She just comes from contribution. There are very few people I want to see win in this solar game as much as I do her, and I'm honored to be a business partner with her. And Terry, I can say the exact same of you, by the way. Every new person we introduced to this company, including the whales, yes, he's the whale hunter. We got some great text threads. The reoccurring theme with Terry, and I got to say it because I wish I had that gift, is I joined because of him.
Yes.
I took the call because it had his name on the caller ID. Had nothing to do with Chris Hart, nothing to do with me. It was every single call with all these whales. I am here because of Terry. If you're friends with Terry, I'm friends with you. And I'm like, dude, what does this guy do? It's who he is at a core.
I pay a lot of money.
Success. Yeah. Thank you. Thank you for the check. Mine came in yesterday. Thank you. I appreciate that, Terry.
Yeah.
That's going towards my Terry Thomas Class A RV fund to travel the world with him. But here's the thing, guys, success leaves clues. And two of our business partners, Terry Thomas, Katie Douglas, if you watch what they do, there's a reason why Terry is able to attract whales into his business. There's a reason why Katie's team is probably the fastest growing one right now inside of our Solar Icons team as of recently. She always shows up. She always contributes. She always participates. She always says yes, right? Success leaves clues, right? And I give a big credit to pulling a lot of that out of her from Aaron, her business coach, her business partner. He's done a great job with doing that. So what are some learning lessons here? One, get into business with the right people, right? Get around the environment of the right people, because you want to know why? People like Terry and Katie, they fire me up. I know they fire Aaron up. We talk all the time, and we're always talking about people on our team. And they're like, man, she just got me on the phone. Another person. And Terry just did a welcome call with me. And this guy's a fireball. Like, guys, success leaves clues. And so what's a good learning point with regard to follow-up? I guarantee you these guys are doing follow-up. I guarantee you. So real quick, Terry, like, what's your go-to follow-up? Right? What's your go-to follow-up that helps you recruit these whales where people come to us and they're like, look, I'm only here because of Terry. Well, I'm going to pay attention because of Terry.
I got to give some credit to Aaron on that. I have never thought of dropping voice texts to someone until I started receiving them from Aaron. Mr. Chris Hart hates them. They work. All of a sudden, you have this message. What's this? And you hit the play, and there's Aaron, dropping bombs or giving you some. I incorporated that. I started doing the same thing.
So, the funny part is, before Aaron kind of introduced that into our world, how many people were doing that?
I never
Very
even
few,
thought
right?
about it.
So, and guess what, Terry, the funny part is, you know how many people on my team now, like they drop me, it drives me nuts. They send me audio because I'm always on the move and I want to listen to it and somebody's around and I'm like, I don't want them hearing what they have to say, but they work, right? Just because I don't like them, they work. And everybody on my team that's implement them is like, I do it now. I thank you, Aaron, for introducing. It works. Why? One, it's different than what people are doing and it drives the authenticity. Well, and I truly believe that's a big part of Terry.
Aaron, you talk about this all the time. It's the emotion. You can read a text and you can read it any way you want. But, when you're hearing someone's voice, their inflections, you're actually, able to feel, the way that they're communicating the message to you versus just how you want to interpret it. Maybe you're in a bad mood, so whatever they're saying, you're reading, what's going on. It's a game changer.
Yeah. Awesome. Katie, how about you?
By the way, real quick, that's the purple cow. When you're going after whales, and that's what Terry targets. He targets people he wants to be in business with. He targets people that you don't want to call. That you're like, I don't know if they're going to take this call. They're probably already making too much money. Whatever the story is that we tell ourselves. Terry must not tell that story, by the way. I know I do. It separates yourselves. Whales, guys, especially my real estate days, I get pitched opportunities. I know Chris does daily. And it's all noise. Terry right now is the purple cow. God bless you. I know he's fit, but he's the purple cow. Yeah. I get a voice text. It stops you in your tracks. I sent a voice text yesterday to someone on this call. She literally said, and I love her. She said, I'm in a meeting. She had to play it. Had to turn her camera off to play it.
Well, that's why it drives me nuts.
I know. That's why I love it. Do it.
Because it's the curiosity. It's like, what's behind that damn voice thing? Like, I want to know. It's from Aaron. It's got to be something good. And I can't listen to it now. And that pisses me off. Okay. Hey, real quick, before we go over to you, Katie, Joe Richards said, can we get an example of that? How long there is likely a right way and a wrong way to do voice text? I'm stepping out of the way of this. This is your baby, Aaron. Go.
I've never done one, so I'll make it up.
A voice text?
Yeah, I was kidding, man. Yeah. So, by the way, we say voice text. It's bigger than that. It's a voice. Our Facebook allows it. Instagram allows it. I think all the media sources allow it. So it's all I do, unless you have an Android or in fact, I have Android friends, by the way. I'll only communicate on Facebook because I can voice text. Like that's how much I freaking love it. So I'll give a quick recruiting one, right? The other cool thing about voice text, guys and gals, it helps you get really purposeful with your language. You want to keep it honestly between 30 and 60 seconds. 30 and 60 seconds.
Yes.
Some platforms like Instagram, they cap you at 60. That's a hard way to learn. All of a sudden you were rapping, you were flowing, and it cut off, and you're like, oh! Facebook, by the way, this is how you learn it. Facebook used to, when you record, it automatically sent. In fact, it still might. You want to talk about like pressure, but just be you, just be authentic. But you need to know your word choice, the framework of what you're going to say it, so it's concise. This forces you to get really purposeful with your language. Katie's taking a photo of us being crazy. I love it. So here it is, right? If I'm dropping Terry a message. Terry, dude, I hope all is well. By the way, this is on Facebook. Terry, hope all is well. Looks like you and the wife are killing it. I love that recent RV trip. So jelly, my friend. Listen, I'm not sure if you saw my Facebook post about a month ago. We just opened up a brand new solar division. So freaking excited about it in 26 states. Just launched Puerto Rico. Anyway, we're just really, by the way, Hawaii's next, man. Talk about taking a trip. I'd love to do that with you.
Let's go.
But anyway, I want to make sure you knew that. I'm not sure. I know you're a sharp guy. If you're interested in being a business partner with me on this expansion, right? If you are, respond back to this text. Let me know. And I want to get a short video I just shot literally 2 weeks ago in your hands. You got to see it, my friend. Hope you have a blessed day either way. We'll connect soon, brother.
Boop. Yeah. Great. Hey, real quick. Joe said, not Joe. Yep. I figured you don't want to ramble on and on. Stacy says, hey, keep your voice messages between 30 to 60 seconds. I'm going to share a belief that I have, and there's nothing that backs this other than my belief system. So take it for what it's worth.
It's dangerous.
Yeah, it is dangerous. Very dangerous. I think that 60 seconds is kind of that cap mark. Anything that you have to do over that, if you have to start sending multiple ones, you need to make a phone call. You need to make a phone call, right? Don't run from the phone call. But if you have something that you want to send them real quick, pique interest, deliver a message, whatever the case may be, keep it in 60 seconds. So we got 12 minutes to really bring this home. Katie, what's something you're doing in follow-up that's helping you win right now in your recruiting efforts?
For me, hi. First off, thanks, guys. I love all the love. Second, I think everyone should say how much they love Chris on a voice clip.
Oh my God.
I love it. So
Do
thanks
it.
so much for that. I really feel like just really being myself in also starting with that text reach out and then just continuing with trying to keep that conversation flowing. Whether it's, oh, hey Chris, I saw, you got a new coffee cup, or hey Terry, I saw you were at the Chamber of Commerce yesterday. Keeping that conversation flowing, having those soft touches, and then eventually coming back in and saying, hey, we talked a few months ago. I actually talked to two people this week that we spoke about it months ago. And I said, what are you doing? Like literally, this is 3 months later. We had this conversation in November. So I know when the first conversation started, and then just trying to keep going with that touching, like, okay, I'm not ready, but keep going, and keep going till they finally say, let's go.
Yes. Because, all right, you ready for this statistic? Remember, I told you 1.4% of real estate agents actually follow up, and most people at best will do 3 touches. Statistically and scientifically proven. You ready for this? Write this down. The win in follow-up happens in the 6 to 9 conversation touch point. That if you just do that, you massively increase your chances of winning. So what Katie is saying right there is she's just playing into that component. She's keeping the conversation going. I wrote in the chat box, there's a great book by Susan Scott called Fierce Conversations. And in that, she says, conversation is the relationship. Every relationship that is defunct in some manner is because of lack of communication. So in her recruiting strategies, she's keeping the follow-up, or she's keeping the conversation going in her follow-up. And I guarantee you she's winning in probably those 6 to 9 touch points. Katie, I would challenge you to go back and look at the last few people you attracted to your business and see how many different touch times you communicated with them, and bring that back to us and see if it kind of fits into that model.
I actually know for sure. I don't know if he's still on, but Josh, who just joined my team, I've seen him several times since the first conversation. When we spoke this week, literally it was, oh, it's the solar girl. That's how I'm known now. And
there you go.
That's the way it is. I want to be that 100%. Solar queen, and I'm everybody's solar queen.
There you go. Awesome.
And she's on video though too. She's on Facebook video. You'll see her.
Yes. 100%.
Doing those reels. That's really what, I didn't want to do it because I don't always love the way my hair looks, or
you don't have to love it. You just got to do it.
I just do it anyway.
Oh, dang.
Oh, here comes Lenny.
Right. So we've got 8 minutes to drive this home, and I've got like a segment I want to cover, but so Lenny just came on board. Let me introduce Lenny real quick. Lenny is not part of Solar Icons. Lenny was someone that was introduced to me when I was new to selling solar. I came across a friend of mine who asked me to do a real complicated ground mount situation. I didn't even know what a ground mount was. I asked some people, they're like, Lenny's your ground mount guy. I reached out to him. He's like, man, I have this like weird love affair with ground mounts. I'm like, I'm sorry, say that again. And he does. So, Lenny taught me a lot about ground mounts. And Lenny actually mentored me on a couple of different projects when I was new. And one of the things that I learned from Lenny in solar was how important, and I didn't really learn this, I was reminded of it, that it plays just as much. Lenny helped me get probably two or three deals that we did together in follow-up. And those 2 deals were probably the most complicated deals of Lenny's 10-year solar career. And those things actually went to installation in the most complicated components because of Lenny's follow-up game. Right. And so we asked Lenny to come on board. Lenny, you have anything you want to share as far as follow-up that, you can add value to the team?
Yeah, I mean, I appreciate you guys having me on, and I love being an honorary family member with the Solar Icons. It's like been such a blessing in my life. I can't even begin to tell you, but and some of this I've actually changed a ton since I've met you guys and started going to these calls. And that's that, you got to have a system in place. If you don't have a system in place, you're going to fail. It's just simple as that. And people, here's the other thing about follow up after the sale, which is kind of what you were just talking about, Chris, is people want to hear from you. Like they want to hear from you. They want to know what's going on. So you got to have a system in place, minimum weekly, where you're following up and just, hey, here's where we are. Just want to let you know. If you do that, that's going to keep them engaged. It's going to keep them happy, and it's going to get you to that, what the ultimate goal is. And that's one, getting them installed, and two, getting the referrals, right? Because it doesn't have to go perfect. Chris and I, those were two of the most challenging installs I've ever had. Like, it was insane how challenging they were, but we were able to overcome that through communication and follow-up. That's exactly how it went down. One of those clients was in Florida. They had a hurricane right in the middle of when we're trying to get permits, and he was type A personality, but we got past it because of our ability to communicate. And having two of us, whenever there's a mentor and a mentee and you're both kind of attacking at it, that's showing some serious quarterback to the tight end kind of, congruency, if you will,
Yeah, 100%. So I'm going to drop something in the chat box, and Aaron, if you can pull this up on the screen, because this is kind of my framework of understanding the value behind follow-up. And so I'm going to bring it home with this. I'm going to nug this down for you guys. Okay. So stay with me. I'm going to move kind of fast just due to time. All the money is tech-enabled. All the money, right? Fortune's in the follow-up. All the money is a tech-enabled, scheduled, relentless, systematic process of follow-up, right? So understand this. One, no more memory. Stop with the memory stuff. Stop, writing it down on a notepad or what are these little yellow notes, sticky notes thing, writing it down in a book, you're forgetting your book, or trying to put it in your Apple Notes. No, you have to have a CRM. Okay. You have to have a CRM. Guys, go to my Facebook page. I promoted. I'm going to be doing, we were doing book clubs. I told Aaron, I said, hey, I'm not going to do a book club anymore. What I think is important for our team is that we do a mastermind. It's going to be a sales and marketing mastermind related to a CRM, because guess what? Another statistic, less than 25% of salespeople actually involve a CRM in their business and their follow-up process. So what's CRM? It's customer or client relationship management. Follow-up is all about the follow-up. So it's got to be tech-enabled. I'm going to show you guys in this mastermind that there's so much technology. I saw someone post when we talked about Chat GPT earlier. Somebody posted in the chat group, oh, I just started using Chat GPT. Guys, let's be clear about something. If you just started using, and I'm not trying to call anyone out, but if you just started using Chat GPT, you're behind the power curve. Okay. You're behind the power curve. If you're not using it, you got to start using it. Okay. But understand this, Chat GPT, that's just the tip. Right? I've been studying marketing like very intently for the last month or two. And I'm talking to the best marketers out there, and the things that the technology that they're using, I've shared some of this with Aaron and a few other people. The technology that they're using is not even being talked about on the internet. Okay. Guys, they have virtual, you guys are hiring virtual assistants that barely speak our language because you can pay them $4 an hour. They're employing AI virtual assistants that are outperforming your virtual assistants from other countries. Okay. So we're going to talk about that in that mastermind. We're going to talk about all the technology, the CRM. The CRM is just a platform. And then we're going to talk about all the different layers on top of that. And if I had more time, I'd show you some examples of what I'm putting together. No more memory, no more writing it down on a notebook, no more trying to remember where things are, blah, blah, blah. You have to implement a CRM. Okay. You have to implement a CRM. No more just putting it in your phone. Put it this way. If your follow-up is not a tech-enabled systematic process that literally tells you, I'm writing notes this morning. I write notes on my phone, but I'm writing my notes. I'm adding some extra notes and some things that I was thinking about when I was walking my dogs. And it literally popped up and it said, reminder to follow up with Jared Prelo. And I was like, oh crap, I forgot about that guy. All right. Why? Because a month ago, I put a task in my CRM to follow up with this guy. And then another one came up and said, follow up with Leonard Del Rosario. So I called him right away. And I said, hey, Leonard, where are we at? What's your next steps? Blah, blah, blah. He's telling me about this thing. I overcame his challenges, and he said, okay, do me a favor. Let me just call the permitting department today. Call me back on Monday, and I should be ready to move forward with executing the contracts. That follow-up's going to get me that deal. That's a 19.8 kilowatt deal down in Charleston, South Carolina, that has over $14,000 worth of commission. Right? That's where the money's at. Okay. Second one, scheduled. It has to be daily. Write this down. It has to be scheduled. It has to be daily, systematic, and routine. Right? Remember, I told you Gary Keller's 5 things every single day. Millionaire real estate agent, script practice and role play, lead gen, lead follow up. You have to be doing it every day. Put in your calendars right now: 8 a.m. to 10 a.m., 4 p.m. to 6 p.m. Right? You can break it up an hour of lead gen and an hour of lead follow. Well, Chris, that's too early. Says who? Well, I don't want anybody to call me. Stop putting your thoughts into the universe. That's why you're not winning in this game. Because you think the most detrimental thing you can do is think that other people think like you. Right? Oh, I won't take a phone call before 11 o'clock. Great. Run your business like that and see how many people you can actually get to answer the phone. 8 a.m., people will answer the phone. 5 p.m., 6 p.m., when they're driving home from work, they'll answer the phone. They can't do it throughout the day when you're working, because guess what? So are they. So it has to be scheduled. And then relentless. What does relentless mean? Anybody, drop it in the chat box. What does relentless mean? Relentless means nonstop. Relentless means I'm going to win. Right? Write this down too. Put this in the chat box, someone. Play to win versus playing not to lose. What does that mean? Most salespeople in business and in relationships won't do certain things because they're like, oh, I don't want them to be mad at me. I don't want them to, DNQ, which means, disqualify themselves. I don't want them to opt out. Well, you're not winning with them. Let's be very clear. You may be gaining significance that you got 5,000 people in your database and you only have a 1% opt-out rate. But if it's not transitioning into sales, you're not winning. So understand, when you play not to lose versus playing to win, you are losing. Because winning in sales is you're actually booking sales. You're writing contracts. People are buying homes. People are buying, solar systems are being installed. And if you're not doing that, you're not winning. Okay. Just like we said before, people want to buy. If they're registering on your Facebook leads, they're talking to you about solar, they're interested. They want to buy solar. The problem is you sell them out of it. You don't follow up with them. You play too weak. Somebody else comes in and knocks on their door, does a better job than you. They buy from them. Okay. So you have to be relentless. I promise you, more people will appreciate this guy, Leonard, this morning that will go to contract on Monday. I promise you this. I will put money on it. I've been relentless. You can ask, this is a mentor deal. This is not even my own personal deal. Ask Jim Wayner, Russell Berthollet. I've been text messaging them every freaking time I communicate with this guy. And Jim Wayner said I could show you the text message thread between me, him, and Russell Berthollet. Texted him last night and I gave him an update and he said, that's why you send the Rangers in. Okay. It's relentless lead follow-up. Okay. It's relentless lead follow-up. What's the next piece? Tech-enabled, scheduled, daily, right? Relentless, systematic. Here's the thing, guys. I am building, you guys know I'm building out funnels and that sort of thing. Why? Because everything I do in my follow-up, I'm not doing. If your follow-up requires you to actually do it, you're going to lose at the game. You want to know why? You're not doing it in the first place. So even if you have a CRM, even if you're like, well, Chris, I'm not going to spend $49 a month. I could just put a note on my phone, like call Leonard a month from now. Yeah, great. You're going to get call Leonard a month from now. And guess what you're going to be doing a month from now? You're going to be having breakfast, drinking mimosas with your girlfriend. It's going to say, hey, call Leonard. And then you're going to be like, oh, I'll call Leonard later. And then you forget, right? I don't call Leonard. Guess what happens? My platform calls Leonard and then calls me. My platform fires out the automated text message that has a video link in there. My text message, if I talk to Leonard today and he's like, hey, call me back on Monday. You want to know what the first thing I did? I put a task, it's called a snooze, in my CRM that says call Leonard at the time. And I told him I'm going to call. I said, Leonard, when can I call you back? At 11 o'clock on Monday morning? Will that work? And he said, yes. Listen to the question. Leonard, when can I call you back at 11 o'clock on Monday morning. Will that work? He said, yes. So what do? I put the task in my CRM, call Leonard. It's a call out, 11 o'clock. You know what's going to happen 11 o'clock Monday morning? My phone's going to ring and it's going to say, connecting you to Leonard Del Rosario. Press 1 to connect. I'm going to press 1, then it's going to call him. And then I'm going to go, hey, Leonard, what's happening? Are you ready for me to send you out the contract? It has to be systematic, right? It has to be systematic. If you have a lead, write this down, okay? Every single lead must go in a CRM, every single lead. But Chris, what if they don't want to buy? I don't care but Chris. Listen to me. Write this down. Put it in the chat box. Aaron Browning put it on the damn screen. Every single lead goes in your CRM. And every single lead that goes in your CRM must go on a freaking campaign that is minimum 9 touch points. And every single lead that must go in a CRM and must go on a campaign must get touched immediately with a video. And there must be you following up with them with phone calls. Somebody in here earlier said drip. Guys, I got 2 cups here, okay? Hold on one second. I drank one of them. I got 2 cups. I just drink a lot of water, okay?
I always get scared when he does this.
That freaking sucks. Why don't we just do that? Okay? Just pour the damn water in the freaking mug.
Because people are playing not to lose.
Because the people are playing not to lose. Play to win. I promise you this. If you play not to lose in your follow-up campaigns, you will lose. Period. The end. Listen here, guys. We're going to wrap this up because we're out of time. Okay? All the money is tech enabled. If you don't have tech, you're giving your money away to me, to Aaron, to Lenny, to Rosario, to where's my other boy up there? Ramsey, to Jim, all of us that are using tech, that we're all masterminding together. Like I promise these people, hey, you get on board with this tech, I'm your guy. I will make sure that what I learned, you learn. Okay. If you're not doing it, you're going to give your money away to one of us. I promise you. Tech enabled, scheduled. If you're not scheduling it, you're going to lose. Okay. You're going to lose because you're not going to remember and you're not going to do it because you're not doing it now. Don't think just because you're on a coaching call, all of a sudden you're going to have this epiphany and all your behavior is going to change. You don't have the habitual mindset that creates the habitual activities. So let the technology do it. So if you're not tech enabled, it's not scheduled, and you're not relentless at it, which means, oh, I don't want them to be mad at me because I followed up with them too much. Look, here's what I've learned about people. If people are mad at you, they're just waiting for you to give them the opportunity, right? If it's not your relentless follow-up, it's your social media post. If it's not your social media post or your relentless follow-up, it's something you said to them on a bad day. Look, people that get mad easily. They're looking for a reason. Give it to them because you might win with them. What happens if you do win? And then if it has to be systematic, we're going to talk about that. I'm out of time. We're going to talk about that in the mastermind. If you want more information about that, let me know. I'm going to do, I did a Facebook post about it. People said they were interested. We've got enough interest. I'm going to put it out next week as to when we're going to do an introductory call. I got to fly out to California for Power's virtual convention that we're going to be doing Thursday, Friday, Saturday. I'm on a panel for recruiting. So make sure you guys check into that. When I get back from California, we're going to start this thing. We're going to be spending the next few months digging into follow-up at such a freaking high level that is tech enabled, that I'm going to show you guys how to schedule this stuff. I'm going to show you how to be relentless, or how your follow-up system is going to be relentless, and it's going to remind you to participate in it every once in a while. And then it's going to be systematic. We're going to win. Okay. We're going to win. Guys, Solar Icons, Aaron and I have the determination, the relentless determination to make this one of the top selling teams in the entire real estate industry. If you're prospecting solar and somebody invited you to this coaching program today, this is what we do every Friday. Every Friday. Okay. And I promise you, we drop bombs. That's our whole goal. And we spend the week trying to figure out how we can add more value, and we do it. Right. And we're going to do more of it. So if you're not in solar, somebody invited you, get back with them, get on board. The future of American home energy production is going to be solar. If your belief system is bad about it, you're going to miss an amazing opportunity. A lot of us are going to make a lot of money. If you're already in solar, you're with another company, another downline, you're part of our family. We're here to build. Right? We don't think from scarcity. We think from abundance. I personally am a man of God. I answer to him. He's called me to add value to people. I don't play to whether or not you like me. I play to whether or not, or at the end of the day, if I pass away, I want to hear one thing. There's one script I'm playing to. Good job, good and faithful servant. We're here to serve you. We're here to build with you. Aaron, you have any closing remarks?
How do I close after that, brother? You killed it, man. I'm freaking loving the new format. The energy, people streaming in from so many different platforms all over. I see leads, right? People who aren't even with us yet who are chiming in. I freaking love it. My boy AJ runs a $200 million real estate team here in Nova. I'll be reaching out to you today, brother. Super excited. Hopefully you guys love the format as well. We're going to be breaking up segments so that we can give to you guys for follow-up. We can give you guys for inspiration as well. So we appreciate everybody that played all out. Two key takeaways for me. One word we didn't use, or at least didn't resonate well, but I know Chris and I love it. When he talks about technology for systems, it's also automation.
Yeah.
Automation. It's magical when you have systems in play that work when you don't, that are working when you don't, right? And that's the key of what Chris is really going to brain dump on you guys when we launch that new CRM class. And then the last one, in terms of those of you who are not leaning in with the CRM, not leaning in with technology, with video, with voice text, I honestly, it's because of fear, number one. And two, you don't realize how big the opportunity is in front of you. That's a fact. When Chris and I joined 7 months ago, we thought this was going to be a 7-figure-a-year business inside of 2 years. That gets most people excited. We were 45, 46 days in. Chris and I are on the phone like we always do late at night. And we said, oh my gosh, did we miss it? This is a 7-figure-a-month business for those that lean in. I could not say that about real estate, and I ran a really good team. I hang out with a lot of people in real estate. I don't know anyone making 7 figures a month in real estate. I don't. Not a single person. If I'm wrong, I'll own it. And if I do, there's one, right? Here, oh my gosh, we're going to have a team full of them. Team full of them. So just lay your claim. If it's you, keep showing up. Hopefully you guys got value. Chris, honored to share the stage with you as always, man. You get me fired up. I'm ready to conquer the day. Appreciate each and every one of you guys. Be good, be safe, and God bless. We'll talk soon, my friends.
Go do video.